All right, everybody, I am at the spot. All right, this is Plan Your Greatness. I'm your gracious host, Carlton Hamilton. We're going to try to get through this one quicker because I just realized the last video was about 26 minutes. I try to make sure that they're 18 minutes or less, but sometimes the topic just flows and I just go over. All right, so we are continuing making these videos that are breaking down each chapter in the book. So, as I get all this stuff together, my hopes is that it motivates you to buy the book or at least get some sort of, hold on just a second. I always forget sometimes to get that. And I don't like trying to start over and everything. It's just like, hey, you're making videos in your home, in your office, things happen. So you just move on with those in life. But editing, I'll probably do that sometime later on as far as get somebody that's, once I get bigger, I'll do some more editing and have some more fancy stuff. But until then, all right, we're going to get back to what we're talking about. Chapter 8 in the book, it's broken down in about 3 or 4 sections. I just did a video earlier, and so now I'm doing another video, and this one is talking specifically about within the book is the question it's asking is, can you be successful without asking yourself the 3 questions? Because almost at the end of every video, just about every video, I will ask you to ask yourself the 3 questions, because I think it is crucial in your development. Whether you're trying to be a professional athlete or whatever you're doing, you need to know what you want to do, why you want to do it, and can you actually see yourself becoming that? If you don't know what you want to do, then what are you going to do? If you don't know why you're going to do something, you're not going to get up on days where you don't feel your best. And if you can't see yourself doing it at the end, hold on. Oh, excuse me. Oh, if you cannot see yourself doing what it is that you want to do and why you're doing it, you have no chance. All right. But the question is, can you be successful without asking yourself either one of those questions, or specifically what I'm talking about is, can you be successful without asking yourself all 3 questions? Now, in my life, in my experience, in my research that I've, as I've continued to do talking specifically about this topic, is the answer is yes and no. Okay? But more specifically, what I'm getting at is you can be successful, and there are tons of people out there that are being successful to varying degrees without specifically intentionally asking any of the 3 questions, let alone all 3 of them together. But here's what's interesting. That process takes a lot longer, and it's not as long lasting if you do not ask the question, because there becomes an element of growth. Once you ask yourself those 3 questions and say you hit your goal, then it's going to require you to ask those 3 questions again of a new goal, or just, make it such a big goal that you're in constant pursuit your entire life of, completing this goal and answering the 3 questions. Now, 2 things come to mind. When you're an athlete and you've reached the pinnacle of, about to be just getting paid millions of dollars, whether it's going into the NBA or the NFL, those 2 sports specifically have what is called a combine. We can get off into, what I think of the combine in regards to, men and males and black males and all this stuff like that, but I won't get off into that too much. But what I will talk about is there's just all these drills to test your athletic skill level. Now, notice I said test. I didn't say challenge. It's not the skills challenge. Okay? This is a skills test. The players know exactly what they're going to do. They have not changed that combine for I don't know how many years. You run a shuffle, you run the 40, you do a jump. Every quarterback throws all the passes that are on what they call the route tree. And every receiver runs every route on the route tree. And then the running backs do certain things, and then they lift and also, so they have all these things laid out to determine, based on your position, how do you measure up against other people in your position? Because they already saw what you did on the field. That's undeniable. The tape don't lie. But now they want to see what type of physical specimen you're bringing to the table. All right. Now, I equate that to attending, say, a Stanford or a Northwestern University, University of Texas, an Ivy League school, small private schools. Now, you have you tested at a very high level. You've got employers like these football teams and these Fortune 500 companies that are setting up shop at these campuses so they can pick the best and brightest off of that based on your test scores. How did you do at that school? Okay? And we know now, because in my master's program, I studied emotional intelligence. Where's that book? Where's the book? Emotional Intelligence. Where is it? Daniel Goleman. Can you see me over here? All right. This book right here, Daniel Goleman. I recommend you read this or start listening to some of his videos where he talks specifically about this topic of emotional intelligence. Okay? It has really, really inspired me to really look at things, and I'm sure it had a lot to do with me creating this book and these questions. And emotional intelligence is now becoming a better indicator of success than the IQ, the intelligence quotient. I have a friend of mine that every time we're talking, he gets to the point of where he's dividing people in these groups, and it's, low-level thinkers, high-level thinkers, and all that stuff like that. And again, it's a very biased way that we determine how people are going to be successful. And emotional intelligence, to me, is a much better indicator. And that's where the difference between testing, because emotional intelligence scores how people do well at testing, memorization. A challenge is, to me, an emotional intelligence score, because it takes into things that are unscripted. And that's exactly what happens with somebody as far as emotional intelligence. Our good leaders are great emotional intelligence, very high emotional intelligence. You can know how to do the job, but if you don't know how to deal with the actual people that are doing the jobs, now you're going to have some problems. And so that's what happens with challenges. Challenges are unscripted. They involve somebody coming to the table with different skills, attributes, everything. That's why I like the term where they say this person he's a great skills person, but this person is fast, but this person is football fast. That's the hey, come on, snap out of it, focus. Come on, camera. What are you doing? All right. So again, this is what I've learned as far as when you take these Ivy League cats and these sports combines individuals, they're getting tested. Some of them test very high, but a lot of times it doesn't translate over into the challenge part, which is when you are actually competing with somebody. Because that leads me back to what we started about, is that you ask yourself the 3 questions. And those 3 questions indirectly create where you become in this position where you say, I have a philosophy, what I want to do. Why I want to do something, and it's over my feelings. You're just not going to allow things to get in your way of getting to your goal. And I mentioned football, but there are specific challenges, specific confrontations that lend itself to what we're talking about. A wide receiver and a corner. It's one-on-one, man on man. and you are fixing in yourself in your mind is that, okay, this is a challenge, and you are going to look and see at yourself, how much did I prepare for this challenge? How strong is my why? Is my why stronger than your why 100 times that we're going to be facing, 100 plays or 50 something plays? Same thing with a tennis player. You're one-on-one with that person. Is your why stronger than that why? When they hit a ball that's out of your reach, how much effort are you going to be? I'll just let that one go. I'll get it the next time. And then they do it again, and it keeps going. Next thing you know, you've been beat. The other one is the hitter and the pitcher challenge. Tony Gwynn talked about, he said he never gave up an at-bat. He said he went into every at-bat trying to focus and getting the best pitch he could to hit. Now, God rest his soul, Tony Gwynn finished, I think, with the second or third highest batting average of all time as far as a career, like 338. And I'm watching Mookie Betts, one of the players now, and he was at 350, and now he's dropped down to 338. And I'm thinking Tony Gwynn had that batting average for his entire career. And this is Mookie Betts having a great season batting 338 now. And I'm just thinking, oh my goodness, how tough is that? And Tony Gwynn talked about, he said, I never gave up an at bat. I was in there every single time. Challenge, challenge, challenge. I wasn't getting anything. Now, the reason why I use that as an example is because when you start looking at the 3 questions and you start skipping around, you try to skip from what you want to why you want to when you skip around, you're going to be inconsistent. And a lot of times what happens with that inconsistency is people start making excuses. And what I call, you're getting your mail in Excuse Town, USA, population, way too many people. All right? Don't do that. Okay? Stay focused. Put the 3 questions in order. What, why, and then see it to the end. Because when you don't do that, you start getting lazy. Again, they need to be in particular order. You're trying to skip steps, because when you get lazy, I explained to you, you start blaming, and then you stop that process of creating your philosophy or creating what you want to see. Because I was just reading something earlier as far as what stops people is that they will drop back into what is familiar. And what's familiar usually is something that holds them back from where they want to go. Because where you want to go, you're usually making a breakthrough. And that breakthrough is creating. If you don't see something you want, you want to be courageous enough to then just say, well, I don't see it. And it's uncomfortable that I don't see it. But let me just try to create it. And once you create it, now you've created it. You'll never go back. All right. So, and that leads me to the next point where I'm sharing where wherever you are right now, that is based on your thoughts and your belief system. Your thought and your belief system has created where you are right now. So in order for you to be somewhere or create something new, you have to create new thoughts, okay, which creates a new belief system, which then creates a new now. And that process, a lot of times, it's very uncomfortable. But you have to be, if you want to go someplace you've never been, you've got to be willing to be uncomfortable moving through that space to where you want to be. All right, so with that said, my challenge to you at the end of this video is, again, ask yourself the 3 questions. But when you're doing that, I want you to be more specific. I want you to be more intentional. I want you to be more deliberate as to what you want. And then when you get to the point of asking yourself why you want it, I want you to move around, and I want you to create something that really gets your heart racing, gets your blood flowing, and possibly even move you to tears as you think about why you want to accomplish it. And then at that point, it becomes very easy to see it, because you say, you know what? I need to do this. I have to do this. I must do this. Not that I should. I must do this. All right? This is Plan Your Greatness, and I'm going to say this again. Plan your greatness. Be in control of your greatness. Why? Because no one else will. All right. See you guys all next time.